Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. The movement against the Citizenship Amendment Bill has gained momentum in Assam and elsewhere in the Northeast and is showing signs of getting strident in the days ahead, with Union Cabinet clearing the bill for tabling in Parliament. It will be introduced in the House most probably on the 9th of December. Unlike the last time, the BJP has the numbers now, and the bill therefore is set to be passed during the current session of Parliament. The protagonist of the anti-cab movement, the All Assam Students Union, has taken strong exception to the fact that the Union Cabinet decided to clear the bill within 12 hours of Home Minister Amit Shah holding discussions with stakeholders, including its leaders, on the issue. The Cabinet's clearance within a day of the discussions ending indicates the determination of the centre to get the bill passed. Now, how different is the new cab going to be compared to the last draft? Is the union government trying to tell agitators in Assam that they need not fear because the centre was trying to get Clause 6 of the Assam Accord implemented that would bring constitutional, legislative and administrative safeguards for the Assamese people? Is there any link between Clause 6 and CAB? The All Assam Students Union wants the two to be kept separate from each other. Again, can religion be a criteria for granting citizenship? How strong is the argument that this could open the floodgates for large-scale influx? The question now is, how long can the anti-cab star sustain itself? After all, the 2019 Lok Sabha poll results in Assam, where the BJP have won 9 of the 14 parliamentary seats, indicates that the protest against cab did not impact the electoral verdict. To discuss this highly sensitive issue, I am joined from Guwahati by ASU Chief Advisor, Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee. In Shillong, I have KSU President Lambok Mangar. Kokomi and UCM leader Kuraiza Matoba joins me from Imphal. Professor Nanigopal Mahanta is with me from Guwahati. National People's Party leader Jarpam Gamlim is live from Itanagar. And at our studios in Guwahati, I have Assam BJP spokesman Rupam Goswami and former MP Kirip Chaliha is going to join me. But before we begin the discussions, let us listen in to the conversation I had earlier in the day with Assam Gana Parishad President and Senior Assam Minister, Mr. Atul Bora. Let's look at what Atul Bora had to say. Okay, Mr. Atul Bora, welcome. You opposed the cab very strongly last time, but this time, what is your stand on cab? Are you supporting the Citizenship Amendment Bill this time, Mr. Atul Bora?
SGP has strongly opposed the bill, Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016.
Right.
And we resigned from the ministry. We thought that the bill is detrimental to the interest of the people of the state. But now the Union Home Ministry is discussing with civil societies and different political parties, and they are saying that they will introduce a new bill.
Right.
If the same bill is introduced, if the same bill to CAB 2016 introduced in the Parliament, then definitely we will strongly oppose the bill.
Okay. Mr. Atul Bora, we have been joined by Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee. I don't know whether he is with us. Mr. Atul Bora, please hold on. I will coming back to you. I am now joined by Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, Chief Advisor of the All Assam Students Union. Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, welcome. You are still in the middle of the executive committee. What have you decided? What is that you are going to tell the people of Assam at this point of time? What has the ASU decided in the executive committee meeting?
First of all, the cab is violating the Assam Accord, is only protecting the interests of the illegal Bangladeshis. It's communal, unconstitutional. So all Assam Students Union is opposing this cap. So today the Central Committee meeting of ASU is on. Tomorrow the Central Committee meeting of Northeast Student Organization NASU will be held at Guwahati. Then after we will have meeting with the 30 ethnic organizations and the organizations who are related with the Assam movement. One thing is very clear, after historic Assam movement, Assam Accord was signed. And the Assam Accord, it is very clearly stated that those who have entered up to 71, Hindus and Muslims, they can stay in Assam with the right of citizenship. But those who have entered after 71, Hindu and Muslim, they must be deported. Now the central government, by this cap, they want to give the citizenship those who have entered from 79 to 2014. That means those who have entered in those who have stayed for 43 years in Assam, Hindu Bangladeshis, they will get the citizenship.
Right.
So it will violate the Assam Accord. We cannot accept when you are opposing it.
How
and
do
in
you,
our country, this
Dr.
citizenship cannot
Bhattacharjee,
be defined on the basis of religion.
Right. Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, how do you plan to express your opposition to the Citizenship Amendment Bill? What is the mood in the ASU Central Executive Committee? What is the mood among your colleagues?
Yeah, I'll answer to your question. Before that, I'd like to put one point again. The central government, they are propagating that the inner line area is excluded. 6 civil area is excluded from CAP. So if CAP is bad for inner line area, covered area, if the CAP is bad for the 6 civil area, how it can be good for the other parts of Assam, Tripura and Manipur? So the All Assam Students Union will continue this movement. It will be a vigorous movement. So the central committee meeting is on. There will be vigorous movement throughout the state. And we'll have meeting tomorrow with NASO. The NASO executive will decide the future action plan. And we'll have meeting with 30 ethnic organizations, the organizations related to Assam movement. We'll discuss and we'll formulate the future action plan.
Right. You are talking about vigorous democratic movement. Now the question is, in New Delhi, you have assured the parents and guardians of the lakhs of students who are your volunteers that, the academic atmosphere will not be disrupted. But can you give us an idea as to how you plan to carry forward this movement against the Citizenship Amendment Bill? Do you think the the academic year is going to be affected by your agitation? What do you think? What is the general sense?
Not at all. Not at all. The CAB is a threat to the identity, language, and culture of our indigenous people. So the movement will be on. But in this moment, the academic atmosphere of the state will not be vitiated, will not be disturbed. This time the student will read, student will study, and along with study, the movement will be on.
This is a very unique movement. That means you are planning a very unique movement where through this show, through Northeast Tonight, this program, you are now telling the people of Assam that you are coming up with a very unique agitation plan where the academic atmosphere is not going to be disturbed. You are planning a vigorous movement. At the same time, it will not affect the academic atmosphere in the state, or for that matter, the students have nothing to worry about losing one more year.
100%, because during Assam movement we have sacrificed one valuable academic year, and this time the study will be on, and meditation will be on, and we seek the suggestions from the people of Assam. We need guardianship from the people of Assam, because the people of Assam is our high command. So this time the study will be on, along with study the movement will be on.
Right. I will not take much of your time, Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, but one of the main opponents of the CAP, that is the Congress party, is saying that they are going to move, they are also thinking of moving the Supreme Court after the Citizenship Amendment Bill is introduced in Parliament. Is the ASU also likely to move the courts, to take relief from the courts?
See, the Congress had imposed IMDT Act on the people of Assam to protect their vote bank. Now BJP is trying to impose this cap to protect their Bangladeshi vote bank. So now the ASU, we are in touch with our advocates. But the democratic peaceful movement will be on.
All right. Final question to you, Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee. Do you expect do you expect any more invitations from maybe the Assam government or the Assam chief minister, or what is your sense you are getting at this point of time? I know you are in the middle of your executive committee. Thank you very much for coming on Northeast Tonight despite your executive committee meeting. My question is, are you likely to get any invitation from the chief minister of Assam or any other government leaders?
We don't know, because day before yesterday we had a meeting with the Honorable Home Minister of the country, where the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam and the Honorable Finance Minister of Assam were there. And because we are a democratic organization, we have full faith on the democratic system. But any imposition of cap on the people of Assam will not be accepted at any atmosphere.
Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee, thank you very much for speaking to me on Northeast Tonight. You please go back to your executive committee. Thank you indeed. Okay, that was Samujjal Bhattacharjee. The breaking news at this point in time is that there is a very categorical assurance by the All Assam Students Union that they will launch a vigorous agitation against the Citizenship Amendment Bill, but they are assuring the people of Assam that the academic atmosphere is not going to be disturbed. The students are not going to lose an academic year just like they did during the course of the Assam agitation in the 80s. So that is a big statement coming from the All Assam Students Union, meaning that they are going to have some kind of an agitation across the state, but this is not going to be something like bans or, for that matter, disruption of educational institutions or studies in the educational institutions. At least that is the assurance that has come up from the ASU. That is right from the cabinet of right from the Central Executive Committee meeting. That was Dr. Samujjal Bhattacharjee talking to Northeast Live. We'll carry on. We'll go back to these discussions. Mr. Atul Bora, thank you. Atul Bora, you had met Union Home Minister Amit Shah on CAB. Do you think the new CAB will address the concerns of Assam and the northeastern region?
See, of course, I am confident, because the Union Home Minister is not only discussing with AGP. He's discussing with different political parties. He's discussing with all Assam Students Union, Akham Jatiyodabadi Yuva Chhatra Parishad, Sahitya Sabha, and different political groups. So we are expecting something, and I think that again they will introduce the bill in the parliament. I cannot say right now what will happen, but as you know that we are suffering from foreigners' problem.
Yes.
Since long we have been suffering.
Yes.
It is a threat to the identity of the local people. So foreigners' problem is still there.
Right.
34 years have already passed, but nothing has been done by the government.
Now,
that is why we think that which bill they introduced in the last few before few months, that is detrimental to the interest of the people. That is why we oppose the bill.
okay, Mr. Atul Bora, I will let you go. That means if the new Citizenship Amendment Bill that is coming up, if it does not satisfy you, if you feel that it cannot protect the interest of the people of Assam, the AGP is once again going to take a tough stand. Is it that what you are saying?
Yes, of course. But we have put some of our demands, because there is a provision to safeguard the people of Assam under Clause 6 of the Assam Accord. So we want that clause should be implemented with letter and spirit. Already the Union Home Minister has formed a high-power committee headed by Mr. Biplab Sharma. But they are yet to submit their report.
They still have time.
Even then, we are asking the Home Minister that the government of India will have to take step simultaneously. They are placing the bill, they are going to pass the bill, and simultaneously they must do something to
Okay.
for protection of the local indigenous people of Assam. If they implement the clause 6, then I think the people of Assam will be protected. Language will be protected, political rights will be protected, and that is why we are demanding that 100%, not 100%, yes, 100% should be reserved for in parliament segments, and 90% should be reserved in assembly segment. That is number one. And on the other hand, we demand Assamese language should remain as a state language for all the times to come. And equally, all the tribal languages of Assam must also be remain protected.
Okay.
And we have some of our more demands, which we have already raised before the Home Ministry. That is, 6 ethnic groups of Assam must be recognized as tribals.
All
And
right.
we want right
all
over
right.
land. We want right over our river Brahmaputra and its
Okay,
tributaries.
okay, Mr. Atul Bora, thank you very much for speaking to me. I'll let you go. Thank you very much indeed. Before I come to my panelist in Shillong, Imphal and Itanagar, let me go to Dr. Nanigopal Mohanto. Dr. Nanigopal Mohanto, what do you think? A lot of people are supporting CAP, including the BJP, and AGP is almost supporting the Citizenship Amendment Bill this time, unlike the last time round. But there are a lot of organizations led by the NESO and the All Assam Students Union which are opposed to the Citizenship Amendment Bill. Northeast seems to be divided between pro and anti-CAP forces. Where do you stand and what is your position?
Well, Wasbir do not put me in a courtroom situation whereby I have to say yes or no. Let me answer your question in perspective. And my perspective is that there are 3 important aspects of Assam Accord, which is the most important document which has been cited by our regional and other student leaders. The number 1 is the 3 Ds, detection, deportation and deletion of the foreigners. That is number 1. Number 2 is the constitutional, legislative and administrative protection to the Assamese people. That is number 2. And number 3 is the protection of land so that those which have already been encroached, those could be freed. These are the 3 aspects of Assam Accord which I believe to cardinal in its character. Now coming to the first aspect of the detection and deletion and deportation. Now this is the most, yes, I as an Assamese, if you ask me from a normative point of view, definitely I would want a state of Assam which is free of foreigners. There is not an iota of doubt about that. But the fact is that, Wasbir, I'd just like to give you a statistics. That statistics being from 1985 till 2012, according to the white paper published by Government of Assam, 42,338 persons were identified as foreigners, and out of them, only 2,442 could be deported in a period of 27 years. That is from 1985 till 2012. And if we calculate in 1 year, that means it would take us 90% to drive out. Drive out means pushed back. We do not know whether they have come back or not. But in average, we are driving out 90% per year. And if we have now 39,896 persons to be deported, you know how long will it take? It will take you 443 years.
Okay, I'll come back to you. This is a good argument. This is an interesting argument.
That is number 1. Now, my second point is then you have the NRC. NRC has identified 20 lakhs. Say 10 lakhs will be deducted. Now, how many thousands years will it take to drive out those people? Now,
so what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
That is coming
so you are saying that nobody can be deported?
I think that's now becoming an impossible situation. Now the best option left for the people of Assam is to look to the Clause 6 of Assam Accord, that is the, protection of our legislative bodies, protection of our panchayat bodies, protection of our land, which is doable. If these aspects are guaranteed by the present government,
Okay,
I do not have much
I'll come back to
objection in
you.
the cap.
I'll
That
have to
is
come
my
back.
stated
I'll come
position.
back to you, Dr. Nanigopal Mohanta. I'm going to my panelist, Mr. Lambok Mangnar in Shillong, the president of the Khasi Students Union. Mr. Lambok, the BJP is basically saying that, this is a natural right of persecuted people to come to India. Where will they go otherwise if they don't come to India? That is the simple argument that the BJP, which is bringing this bill, is saying. Where do you stand on this argument? Because that is the general feeling within the BJP camp. How do you respond? Lambok.
CAB is really defeat the spirit of all the engineers community across the Northeast. So if the BJP government feel that by bringing the citizenship amendment bill is to protect and facilitate to all these three religions from three countries, I feel that this is totally against the all the minority, especially the indigenous community across the East.
But Lambok,
my simple question to the government, my simple question to this.
Mr. Lambok, my question is,
Yes.
the bill is likely to give exemption to all the tribal states, 6 scheduled areas. They're going to get exemption. The bill will not
Yes.
be enforced. So in that case, do you have a problem? Do you still have a problem?
Well, the government already mentioned that the 6th scheduled area will not applicable. This bill will not applicable. But we are not satisfied with what the central government have already mentioned. The 6th scheduled area is already done since 1952, but still the state of Meghalaya are talking the problem of influx.
All right.
By mention that the 6th scheduled area will not applicable by this bill, it's just totally the divide and rule policy by the central government to the people of Northeast.
Okay. What is your stand, Mr. Jarpum Gamlin of the National People's Party, joining me from Itanagar? Jarpum, the 6 scheduled areas are going to be, tribal areas are going to be exempted, especially those areas that covered under the inner line permit or the Bengal Eastern Frontier regulations. Arunachal is most likely to be exempted. Do you still have a problem? Because your party is still opposed to the Citizenship Amendment Bill.
Yes, in fact, 30th of last month, we had the Central Executive meeting at the Delhi, in which we had adopted a resolution where tooth and nail will be opposing CAB. Now, insofar as Arunachal or Nagaland or Manipur, Mizoram is concerned, we must be very careful that there is an attempt to divide the whole region, being a tribal and a non-tribal area, right, where ILP is implemented and where it's not implemented. So we ought to be careful, because politically today it might be seen as a victory for the state of Arunachal, Mizoram and Nagaland, where it's a tribal state, but socially it will have a repercussion. There will be spillover of those populations which will be absorbed later. But as a political party, NPP is very categorical, very clear that there should be no cap in the entire region, because politically, socially, economically, the entire region is on a very fragile position, because we are not very advanced.
So there should be no cap. There should be no cap in the entire region.
That kind of population.
Absolutely interesting argument there by Jarpum Gamlin.
That's the official position. Yes,
interesting argument there by Jarpum Gamlin. I'll come back.
We are very categorical about it.
Right. I'll come back to you in a minute. Mr. Khuraisa Mathoba, there is a massive anti-cap agitation in Manipur, Khuraisam. Now, what the government is almost saying that there should be no problem, because only 4 to 5 lakh Bengali Hindus who have migrated from Bangladesh, from erstwhile East Pakistan, present day Bangladesh will be granted citizenship 4 to 5 lakh people. That is the estimate doing the rounds. We don't have the exact figures. That is the estimate. So there should not be any problem with that. So what do you have to say? Because, you know, there was this discussion with Home Minister Amit Shah that held with all the stakeholders, and this point was very clear that you continue with your protest, we will bring the Citizenship Amendment Bill. It was told to the stakeholders mostly in a very, very free and frank manner that we will bring cab, you please go ahead with your demonstrations. That was almost the mood during the discussions in New Delhi. Khuraizam.
Well, in the meeting with the Union Home Minister, our Manpack team has very categorically stated that the entire Northeast region should be exempted from the purview of this bill when it is being enacted. And in that discussion, the Home Minister and the government of India, they try to deal the states of the northeastern region separately. But from Pur's point of view, from Manpack's point of view, in our Manpack team delegation, we also have the president of Northeast Forum for Indigenous People, NAFIP president is also there, and he has very clearly, told to the Home Minister that Northeast, in any part of Northeast, this bill should not be, affected in any part of Northeast. Otherwise, whether they may be in Assam, they may be in Meghalaya, they may be in any Tripura or elsewhere, even if once they have been given citizenship, then they will start migrating to other states as a legal bona fide citizen of India.
Got the point.
And there is no other,
Hold your
there's no
thoughts.
other means.
Right. I'll come back. Now I'll have to go for a break, but Mr. Rupam Goswami, spokesman of the ruling party, that is the BJP, there is still, even after the question being asked to the BJP now is that you continue with your discussions till 2 in the morning. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the cabinet passes the Citizenship Amendment Bill. Therefore, many of the stakeholders which had held the discussions, including the ASU, said that, only 6 hours ago we held the meeting and now the government has passed, the cabinet has cleared. That means our points of view are not incorporated in the draft. So this is the feeling. So what do you have to say actually?
Look, that should not be the feeling, because government doesn't need so much of time to incorporate their choices. So whatever the demands they have made, and if the government feels, yeah, these are the genuine demands, yes, we should incorporate, they have incorporated, because the basic structure of the cab was already there. Only some changes has to be made. So I think 6 hours is enough time
so
to do that.
let's not go into that. Now, do you think the present cab will be definitely different from the last cab? Do you think that will be able to, what is the sense that you are getting? What is the sense that the BJP is getting from your government leaders? Will it be able to address the concerns and apprehensions and fears of the people in the Northeast?
Look, first of all, BJP is very serious about the protection of every Indians. We are very much serious, and especially the indigenous people, the tribals, our brothers, we want to protect their language, their culture, their heritage, everything.
Right.
So what is the threat before us? When the agitation was done in the 1979, that threat was the same. That agitation was done in Assam. And that time, the threat was from the Muslim people, those who have migrated from East Pakistan, that means now Bangladesh. So that was the threat. And for that agitation started. And anyway,
we'll go into a detailed discussion on that. You have made your point basically that the government does not take much time to incorporate the thing, and you feel that the cab which will be introduced in Parliament this time will more or less be able to address the fears and apprehensions in the Northeast. I'll have to go for a short break, but before I go, the breaking news at this point is that emerging from the ASU Central Executive Committee meeting that is going on, Dr. Samujal Bhattacharya is saying that they're trying to decide on the nature of the agitation that the ASU will launch to oppose the cap. They're saying that they'll launch a vigorous movement, but he has assured the people of Assam that academic year will not be affected, academic atmosphere will not be affected. That is the big breaking news coming at this point from the ASU's Central Executive Committee. Notice Live bringing you the only channel to bring you live coverage of the ASU executive meeting and inputs from what is going on within the right from the horse's mouth. We'll go for a short break. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Dr. Nanigopal Mohanto, the All Assam Student Union, saying that they will launch an agitation without affecting the academic atmosphere in the state. Is it really possible? Nanigopal Mohanto.
Well, Wasbir, they have the democratic rights to carry out their agitation program by the students. I do not have any objection to that. But I have 2 points to make, Wasbir. Number one, we must also remember that we had already lost 1 year during Assam agitation.
Right.
So to say that, it's very easy to say that, we'll continue with our study, and the moment we are asked to come to the street, we'll come and then go back and study and do brilliant result. It doesn't happen that way, Wasbir. That is number one. Number two, there is a kind of apathy, Wasbir. If you remember, even just before down the brink of election last year, in this year, in fact, there was a lot of hue and cry. Even in Assam, during the time of Panchayat election, there was huge agitation saying that, Horai the last battle of Horai. So every time we say this is the last agitation of Horai, they would bring out this government down and agitation would continue. But it doesn't happen, it fizzles out. So my point is that rather than going for street agitation, which of course we might have to go if the occasion is very serious, but I believe it is more than that, lobbying, articulation of demand, and through press we should try to raise our demand.
Okay.
But this argument that we will study and we will agitate,
that is not going to click. That is not going to click. Lambok Mangnar, you are the president of the KSU. The ASU chief advisor saying we'll launch a vigorous agitation, but academic atmosphere, we are assuring you it will not be affected. Is it really possible? Because during the Assam agitation, the people of Assam lost 1 full year. Can the ASU launch an agitation without affecting the academic atmosphere of the students? Do you think it is possible? What is your experience? Lambok.
Well, I think that ASU will decide accordingly with the Central State Council what kind of agitation they will move from now onward without affecting the student who have pursuing for the study. And at the same time, this is a very sensitive issue for the entire Northeast, and I appeal to the people, indigenous community of the Northeast, to be very responsible, and if we cannot fight at this moment, then our survival, our identity in the next generation will be finished.
Right. Now, Athoba, Khoraisam, a lot of people are saying that, once this is introduced, it will open the floodgates for all kinds of migration. Now, a lot of people are also saying that, it might also have a security threat in the sense that some people may come, they might say that, we are persecuted people, and they might, once they are given citizenship, they'll be entitled to join the security forces. We don't know whether the person is a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian or a Sikh. We cannot actually prove it unless we launch a very large-scale investigation. We go into the origin of these people in their respective countries of origin. So do you think that argument holds good also? Do you think it's a strong argument, or do you think we need not fear about that? Khoraisam.
See, if we look at the last bill, which was introduced in the Lok Sabha, in that bill, it was clearly mentioned that without even, without any document, they are going to grant citizenship to a person if they are found to be non-Muslim. But how would you identify a Muslim and a Hindu? If the Muslim cut off their beard, change their names simply and just claim that they are being persecuted in Bangladesh and they want to take citizenship in India, and once they have been granted the citizenship and over the overnight they can again convert themselves to the same religion.
Okay, Nonigopal Mahanta, how do you counter this argument? Nonigopal Mahanta, Khuraiza Mathoba is making a point. He said that how will you distinguish between a Hindu or a Muslim? You just have to cut off your beard, change your name, and you can pose a security threat. We don't know what background these people will come.
Wasbir, yeah.
Yes, Noni, floor is yours. Please go on.
Wasbir, I would urge the honorable panelists present there to read the report of last Joint Committee report on Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016. It's a voluminous report and it's very well written there. Wasbir, just give me one point. What will happen is that first, according to the last bill, and which will continue in the next time perhaps, is that they will have to apply for long-term visa, number one. And when they apply for long-term visa, it will have to be vetted by IB and security agencies and also from the state government concerned. Once they are vetted, then their cases will be sent to the Foreigners Tribunal. Suppose, and it is very categorically written, if there is no document of passport or any kind of persecuted document or any kind of bank statement, then those cases will be referred to the Foreigners Registration Officer, subsequently to Foreigner Tribunal. So after crossing through various stages, their status and determination will be confirmed. But yes, I do agree, in spite of having so many stringent measures being taken up, there could be possibility that someone might come up with some document and may not have any kind of documents.
So one has to be cautious and careful.
But I believe after verification and counter verification, the process could be resolved.
Right. Verification and counter verification. Jarpum Gamlin, on this count, what are your thoughts on this issue, on this aspect, security aspect? Jarpum Gamlin.
See, I believe the present incumbent government in Delhi should not rush into pushing CAB, because I think prior to that it would be more pertinent to go through the NRC process nationwide and especially the northeast region, like everybody has been saying. And because our border areas are so porous that already there are a lot of illegal migrants that have come in and are staying here. So it's important that we do the NRC first. Then after that they can think of CAB. But as on today also, way they are trying to push it, the NPP's position is very clear that, whether you are sixth schedule state or not, the entire region should be exempted, because socially, economically, politically, we are very fragile. And if you want to implement it and let these people be absorbed in more mature political establishment state like Maharashtra or UP or somewhere like that, where economically also they can be absorbed, because the people of the region itself, they are struggling for survival. So therefore, we are not in a position to absorb these people. Right. So that should be kept in mind.
That should be kept in mind. Rupam Goswami.
And secondly, insofar as the region is concerned, I think the entire region need to be united. And there is an attempt to divide the region into sixth schedule and non-sixth schedule state, and we should not fall into the trap.
Don't divide the region into sixth schedule and don't divide the region into sixth schedule and non-sixth schedule, and fix the NRC before going into cap. That is what Jarpum Gamling is saying. How do you respond, Rupam Goswami? Jarpum Gamling, your alliance partner, NPP, he's saying that, first of all, fix the NRC. Then think about cap. Now, NRC, we know that it's a Supreme Court monitored exercise, but the people who were used to make the NRC, well, people from the government of Assam. Now you are saying that the NRC is, we don't accept this NRC. It is faulty. And even your opposition party, even your rival, Torun Gogoi said, oh, it's a waste paper. Now, 1,500 crore rupees has gone down the drain plus the harassment to a lot of people. Now the Home Minister is saying that there will be a nationwide NRC. So how long can the people of Northeast go around proving their citizenship and identity and so on and so forth?
Mr. Wasbir, look, these are the historical wrong already have been done long back. And BJP is trying to sort it out, all the wrongs, those who have already created, like 370 of Kashmir, and like these are the which were already done a historical wrong. And look, just I want to say something about this cab. Okay, it is really when the first cab was launched, so it was misinterpreted in Northeast. How? Somebody have said that if it is a cab is passed, then
so
let me finish.
No, my question is this linked to what you were saying.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with the fact that we don't have to bother at all because despite the cab protest last time, we won 9 of the 14 seats, so we don't bother and we are comfortable.
No.
Look,
if that is the thing, then I think Honorable Hope Commissioner could not invite all the concerned people to Delhi. Why? He wants to know the mindset of the people because he really wants to safeguard the indigenous people of the Northeast. That's why for Assam, like the other states, they have succeeded.
Home Minister invited only
let me speak, sir. Sir, let me speak. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you, sir. Sir, I didn't interrupt you. I would
yeah, make your point. Make your point.
So,
I'm running short of time. Very quickly.
Okay. So what happened during that time? Like, I just give me 2-3 minutes because most of the people are speaking against the cab, and I'm in favor of the cab. And what cab is actually? When the British, during the British rule, when the agitation was going on, at that time, the minorities people who resided in Pakistan, now this East Pakistan is Bangladesh and Afghanistan, they also participate in the independent India. But they could not enjoy the independence of India. What was their fault? And rather, they were persecuted religiously in those places. So they have the equal rights. Look,
70 years later, that means you are trying to make them enjoy their rights.
Look,
that's what you're saying.
It was a national commitment, not only by BJP. It was by Mahatma Gandhi, then Prime Minister Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Even in 2003, Manmohan Singh also committed his commitment.
Okay, we will go into the history. Khuraizam Athoba, you are making a point very quickly. Your last comments, Khuraizam.
Yeah, well, see, let's be very clear that this very citizenship amendment bill is a genocidal bill for the indigenous people of Northeast, number one. Number two, and it is when the Assam Accord Clause 6 has been violated by citizenship amendment bill, this is the biggest betrayal to the people of Assam, and the Assam people has to wake up, and the entire northeastern states who are sharing borders with Assam has also to be awakened and fight it together. Last point, what the BJP spokesperson has just said, that Home Minister has invited the entire northeastern people. It is not the initiative of the Home Minister. It is due to the protest of the people of Northeast that Home Minister has been compelled to invite us. And therefore, we have just, taken that courtesy to meet him and share our views and our, opposition on this issue. That's what it had happened.
10 seconds, Rupam, and then I'm going to wrap up this by going to other panelists. Rupam, please respond. Because of the protest, they got the invitation.
Look,
10 seconds.
Last time also they made protest. There was no invitation last time. This time, we really want to know the feelings of the people, and we want to convince the people this is really CAB is what for. Because lots of rumors have been published last time. So he said very wrongly.
But due to that protest, they failed to table it on Rajya Sabha.
Sir, I tell you one thing. The spirit of Assam Accord is Clause 6. The main heart of the Assam Accord is Clause 6. But not the year 1971. You doesn't have a cut-off year 1971. Your state cut-off year is 1951. You have not done the agitation, and we have done the agitation, and our cut-off is 1971.
Okay. We cannot go into a lengthy debate on that. Lombok.
No. That.
Yes.
Did you protest?
That's a different issue.
Let him respond. Khuraizam, let him respond very quickly. Khuraizam, respond. Khuraizam, respond very quickly. I'm running short of time.
See, last time, the Home Minister didn't invite us. They thought that they could bulldoze this bill, but they failed to table it on Rajya Sabha because of the, protest by the people. And this time again,
okay, let's not go into that. Let's not go into that.
This time we have numbers. We can bulldoze this time only, but we have not done bulldoze.
I think that is also a point
this
you
time
cannot
we
ignore.
have numbers.
That is
Last
a point. That is also a point. That is also a point made by Rupam. We cannot ignore. This time the BJP has the numbers, but still they called all the stakeholders. Khuraizam, you have to take note of that. You cannot ignore. Lambok, your last comments. What do you think is the road ahead? Lambok. Your last comments. Lambok Marna. Okay, reconnect the line to Shillong. Jarpum Gamlin, what are your parting comments? Jarpum, your final comments.
Final comments, see, my request, I urge the entire region to be united at this point in time and give the utmost support to the ASU, which will be spearheading the agitation. And politically, I think NPP had taken a lead and would want to continue to lead the region. And we will not succumb to the pressure and will not accept CAB. So the final
Jarpum,
request is especially the division.
Jarpum, hold on.
Yes.
But
yes.
you will not snap your alliance with the BJP because that is important. BJP is a very dominant party, ruling party in the center.
Absolutely. In Manipur, Meghalaya will continue to be in a coalition, would continue, but it does not mean that we'll compromise with the principles, that position that party would take.
Okay.
No compromise on that.
I'm giving Nonigopal Mohanto the last word, but before that, Lambok, what are your final comments? Lambok, 10 seconds to you. Lambok, your last comments.
Yes, the stand of KSU is very clear that we are totally opposed to the citizenship amendment bill, that the central government have the intention to reintroduce the bill. If the central government, if really want to protect the engineers community of the Northeast, should implement the ILP in the Northeast and should scrap the CAB.
Okay, Lambok Marnar, president of the KSU.
The spirits of the engineers committee.
Right. Lambok Marnar, president of the KSU, saying that implement inner line permit in the whole of the Northeast and scrap the citizenship amendment bill. That is the moot point coming from Lambok Marnar. Dr. Nonigopal Mohanto, final comments, last word to you on this entire very, very sensitive issue.
Wasbir, let us not generalize the situation of Manipur, Arunachal, Mizoram, Assam altogether, because the context of Assam is different from the rest of the states in Northeast India. Here we are not Ant Bhani or Hard Bhani. Here Assam has got specific historical and identity question. That being, this is not Assam of 1985. Had it been 1985, I would have opposed CAB. But today, look at our constituency. The Assamese people are going to be outnumbered. Identity is in crisis. 51 constituencies have been almost outnumbered by those people from the immigrant community. So at this critical juncture, we need to think afresh. And that being perhaps one of the issue or resolution is the CAB, provided Wasbir that the protection of legislature, protection of administrative and cultural protection is provided to the people of Assam. Otherwise, let us not be under the impression that this is 1985. Since 85, till today, there is a lot of structural changes which have taken place in the state of Assam. And that is why, in this context, perhaps we need a form of CAB that can protect the people of the state.
Very interesting suggestions. I'm running absolutely short of time. Thank you very much, panelists, for these very, very engaging discussions. At this point, we have come several breaking news with the Khasi Students Union demanding that there should be ILP in the entire Northeast and the Citizenship Amendment Bill should be scrapped. All Assam Students Union currently engaged in currently holding its central executive meeting, saying that there will be a vigorous agitation, but academic atmosphere will not be affected. This is not the last we have heard on the very, very sensitive issue of the Citizenship Amendment Bill, with the Northeastern region divided into two camps, pro and anti-CAB. With this, I end this edition of Northeast Tonight. Good night and goodbye.
Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.